And tonight, you've arrived at a place where childhood dreams will come true. With the entire world watching, some of the best young players stand at the doorstep to the big time, the WUBA. Thanks for joining from wherever you are at this moment, and we welcome you to Atlanta, Georgia, the home court of the Atlanta royalty. It's the start of the 2020 WUBA Draft. Good evening, everyone. I'm Coach K of 1891, the official brand of basketball, and we are proud to host the 6th annual draft night for the WUBA. The Women's Universal Basketball Association is making history tonight as being one of the few semi-professional basketball organizations to host a formal draft. The league has been around for a decade, as it was launched 10 years ago in 2010. And before their hiatus, the WUBA sent 40 professional athletes overseas each year to play in various countries around the world. This staggering figure allows the WUBA to stand out as a lighthouse among the vast ocean of leagues that exist within the semi-professional basketball market. So it's only right that they continue to be the vanguard by showcasing amazing female talent on the biggest of stages, the 2020 WUBA Draft. Athletes from 16 countries around the world will have their name called to join one of the storied franchises in this progressive league. It's the moment that every basketball player has imagined since their youth. The moment when all the hard work literally pays off and you receive the external validation of your internal commitment. Now, before I tell you about some of the draft picks that I'm really excited about, let's first discuss the logistics of the draft so you know what to expect. Now, tonight's draft will showcase 45 players who will be drafted in one of two rounds. 30 teams have one or two picks each to build their franchise around for the years to come. A quick snapshot of the talent mix of tonight's draft candidates is brought to you by James Analytics. And what we can tell you is that of tonight's candidates, 20% of the picks play the center position, another 20% play the forward position, 5% of the picks play the shooting guard position, and at 41%, the overwhelming majority of tonight's picks play the 1-2 combo guard position. The final 14% of tonight's picks are of the Sue Bird variety, true point guards, and generals of the court. Now, tonight comes with a bit of suspense, given that there is the backdrop of the coronavirus pandemic that threatens to delay the start of the league and the future of how we consume basketball as fans of the game. While we can't control the public health outcomes, what we do know is that whenever the ball is finally thrown up in the air for tip-off, several teams tonight will find themselves in a position to win it all. So if I'm one of the 30 team owners who are selecting talent from this deep draft, then I know that strategy is going to beat talent every time. So while physique and skill are important, chemistry is critical. Finding the missing puzzle piece is the difference between a highlight and a championship banner. Now, if I'm one of the 60 players waiting to see my name in lights, I'm pacing, I'm panting, and maybe even panicking. But you have to be resolute in the fact that your preparation has now been met with opportunity and you will be okay. That said, there is an overabundance of gifted athletes in tonight's draft. And in a situation like this, it's easy to assume that you can't go wrong whichever way you go. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Amidst this dearth of capabilities, there is one athlete in particular who, in my opinion, stands head and shoulders above the competition. At 6 feet, 3 inches tall, Michaela Roof is widely expected to be picked first out of the gate by the GIE Lady Matrix. Someone like her, with her rebounding and skillful shooting abilities, can be an absolute game changer if paired properly on the block. She can play with her back to the basket, she can shoot the mid-range, she gets offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds. So to set some context a little bit, the first 5 picks of the draft are going to the GIE Lady Matrix at number 1, followed by the Houston Havoc at number 2. Then we hit the East Coast with the Atlanta Royalty and Manhattan Watchers at picks 3 and 4 respectively. Rounding it out with the 5th pick are the Oakland Warriors. We'll be back with an announcement of the first overall pick in tonight's draft after a short commercial break and a word from the owner of the WUBA, Christy Lux. Stay tuned, folks, for the start of the 2020 WUBA Draft.
Good afternoon. I'm Christy Lux, president of the WUBA, and I would personally like to welcome you to the 2020 draft. After a 3-year hiatus, we're very excited to be returning to the courts with some of the best players in the world. We're looking forward to an exciting evening, and on behalf of the organization and myself, thank you for joining us. Now let's get started.
With the first pick of the 2020 WUBA Draft, the GIE Lady Matrix select Imani McGee Stafford from the University of Texas. Wow. So a huge pickup for the GIE Lady Matrix at number 1. It's not surprising that the Lady Matrix would grab a hold of this 6'7" center from Los Angeles, California. Imani was originally drafted into the WNBA by the Chicago Sky back in 2016 and would go on to make the WNBA All-Rookie team. She played on 2 USA national teams as a teen, and in college, she made the all-freshman and defensive teams in the Big 12. During her tenure with the Atlanta Dream, Imani was known for being a great defender inside with excellent shot-blocking abilities, but she also has a good mid-range jumper for somebody her size. She's got great hands and good footwork, both of which make her tough to guard inside. Excellent pickup by the Lady Matrix. Next up is going to be the Houston Havoc with the second pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft. With the second pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Houston Havoc select Michaela Roof from Stanford University. Well, we knew she was going to be drafted early. Michaela Roof goes at number 2 to the Houston Havoc. She's a 6'3" forward out of Dayton, Ohio, who was actually drafted into the WNBA by the Seattle Storm back in 2014. While in college at Stanford, she reached the Sweet 16 every year, and in her most recent season overseas, Michaela averaged a jaw-dropping 19.6 rebounds per game alongside 20 points per game. Puts a new spin on the term double-double. That list of players who've averaged 20 and 20 in one season is very, very short. Michaela gets boards on both sides and is a tough defender who can play inside and out. Congratulations to Michaela and the Houston Havoc. Next up will be the Atlanta Royalty with the third pick of the draft. Let's see where they place their bets. With the third pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Atlanta Royalty select Michaela Hauser from Purdue University. Oh, I like Michaela Hauser. She's a 5'7" point guard hailing from Lincoln, Nebraska. If I had to pick a word to describe her, it would be fierce. She's extremely fast and can finish at the rim for a small guard. Great defender, averages about 3 steals per contest, and like any point guard, you want someone who can distribute the ball effectively to their teammates. Last year, she averaged 6 assists and 3 steals per game. She can knock down a 3-ball when necessary and is going to give you 15 points night after night. She led Italy women's basketball in both assists and steals last year and has a very solid assist-to-turnover ratio. It's a good plus-minus on the box score with KK and a great selection for the Atlanta Royalty. Next up, we head up north to the Manhattan Watchers, who have the 4th pick of the draft. With the 4th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Manhattan Watchers select Asia Logan from the University of Pittsburgh. Asia Logan is a very athletic forward from Baltimore, Maryland. She likes to play inside and outside the key. She's a very good defender and can run the floor quickly with or without the ball. She's coming from a really big program with the Pittsburgh Panthers where she had 49 double-figure scoring contests in her career. Now, what I love about Asia is that she has just a really natural release, and when she gets going, there's not much you can do to stop her. Most recently, she averaged 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists per contest, and that earned her All-Swiss second-team honors. Congratulations to Asia Logan and the Manhattan Watchers. Next up, we have the Oakland Warriors with the 5th pick in tonight's draft. With the 5th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Oakland Warriors select Alexis Gray Lawson from the University of California. Alexis is a 5'8" point guard out of Oakland, California. She'll be playing in her hometown with the Warriors. Now, Alexis is a prolific scorer. She knows how to paralyze the defense just enough to get her shot up. She brings veteran leadership to really any team that she gets on. I mean, she was drafted by the Mystics, in the Washington Mystics, in the 2010 WNBA Draft. And last season, she actually averaged 20 points per game and led all of Israel in points scored. She's just a diehard competitor, and any team would be lucky to have her. So congratulations to the Oakland Warriors and Alexis Gray Lawson. Next up, we're heading over to the Empire State, where the Brooklyn MAMBA have the 6th pick of the draft. With the 6th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Brooklyn MAMBA select Portia Poole from Michigan State University. Portia is a lightning-quick guard out of Canton, Ohio. Look, you've actually already missed her first step, okay? It's darn near impossible for you to stay in front of her. And that is why she was in Germany's top 5 in scoring last year with 20.4 points per game. And back in 2017, she was the MVP of the Romanian Cup. She's the definition of instant offense, as she can get to the basket whenever she darn well pleases. Balanced with both hands, she likes to penetrate and get the easy, high-percentage shot. Congratulations to Portia and the Brooklyn MAMBA. We're going to stay in the 2-1-2 for one more pick as the New York Aztecs make their selection at number 7. But just before that pick is called, we got a chance to have a video chat with Michaela Roof, who was picked number 2 to the Houston Havoc. Let's check in live from Australia with Michaela Roof to find out how she feels at being picked number 2. All right, well, we are here with the 2nd overall pick, Michaela Roof. Congratulations to you. Drafted number 2 to Houston Havoc. How excited are you right now?
Super excited. I mean, I'm just happy to be drafted and feels great.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. I see you representing Stanford.
Yeah, obviously, always have to, you know, my favorite.
So you are in Australia right now. So what time is it for you locally?
It's 9:30, just past 9:30 in the morning, but tomorrow, so okay. We're a bit ahead.
Day ahead. Gotcha. All right. So what are you looking forward to most about Houston, the upcoming WUBA season?
You know, I haven't spent much time in Houston, so it'll be great to explore a new city, play with a new team, and just hope we can win, do well.
Yeah. So when you heard your name called, like, what was the first thing that came up? Like, I know you've been drafted by the Seattle Storm before, so like, this is not your first time getting drafted, but like, what did it feel like hearing yourself, hearing the name, and tell us about it?
I mean, it was just exciting. You know, you always, that's what you dream about as a kid, you know, being drafted. So it just feels like a dream come true, I guess.
Good. Cool. Well, congratulations again to you. Can't wait to see you on the screen. I can't say I'll be out there in Australia, but we'd love to come visit you in Houston, see how you play. You got a lot of games, so much respect. But congratulations again on being the 2nd pick in the draft.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. My pleasure. With the 7th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the New York Aztecs select Monique Coker from Old Dominion University. Monique is a 6'2", 186-pound forward out of Bronx, New York. In 2007, she played professional basketball for the Los Angeles Sparks. She has an excellent post-up game and loves to play with her back to the basket. She's a smart player, and she knows when she should take the shot or when to dump it off for an easy bucket for somebody else. Occasionally, she's going to give you that mid to long range jumper and knock down a 2 or 3. Last season in Finland, she averaged 13.5 points, 6.5 boards on 53% shooting from the field. Congratulations to Monique and the New York Aztecs. Let's head out to the Bay Area to San Francisco, where the Angels have the 8th pick. With the 8th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the San Francisco Angels select Moran Johnson from Sacramento State University. Okay, we've seen the point guards and we've seen the big girls inside. Now let's talk about getting buckets, okay? Moran is a 5'8" shooting guard from Antioch, California, and let me tell you, she can put the ball in the basket. Nothing but long-range calls from Moran. During her time at Sac State, she was the first in program history with a whopping 299 three-pointers. Now, in case you mistakenly think she's just a one-hit wonder, Moran averages 10.6 rebounds per game as a shooting guard. And she sort of plays free safety on the court, so to speak, because she has a great eye for errant passes, all of which make her an asset on the court for many different reasons. Congrats, Moran, and great pickup by the San Francisco Angels. Next up is the East Bay Splash with the 9th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft. With the 9th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the East Bay Splash select Drew Edelman from the University of California, Santa Barbara. It's hard to win the chip if you don't have a big body inside wreaking havoc. That's where Drew Edelman comes in. Clocking in at 6 foot 5 inches and 200 pounds from Sunnyvale, California, Drew is the big fundamental at the center position. Feed her down low or go with a pick and roll, it all ends up the same way with Drew, and that's off the glass and in the nets. During her college career at UC Santa Barbara, she put up 14 points and 9 rebounds per game on 60% shooting. In her most recent 2018-2019 campaign, she averaged 11 points and 7 rebounds while shooting 52% from the field. Those honors earned her a spot on the Israeli national team in 2019. She is going to make an excellent scoring option on the block this year, so congratulations to Drew Edelman and the East Bay Splash. Next up, the Southern Lady Generals have the 10th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft. With the 10th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Southern Lady Generals select Macy Keene from Shaw University. Macy Keene is a 6'6", 184-pound center out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She started college at the University of Miami and finished up at Shaw University, where she averaged a double-double of 16 and 11. With her height advantage and her coordination, she poses a real threat to any defense because of the difficulty in guarding Macy's shot. I mean, her game is like subtly reminiscent of Lou Alcindor in his early days. Macy was the CIA Player of the Week 3 times in college. Good pickup for the Southern Lady Generals, and congrats to Macy Keene. Next up is pick number 11 by the NorCal Raiders. With the 11th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the NorCal Raiders select Amila Lee from the University of Pacific. Amila Lee is a 5'7" point guard from Piedmont, California. After high school in Piedmont, Amila attended the University of Pacific and played ball for the Tigers. A little known fact is that Amila doubled her points production in college for each of her first 3 seasons. After college at the University of Pacific, she headed over to Hungary in 2019, where she played ball for the BEAC Uchbuda. And in her first year, she led the BEAC in assists. Congratulations to Amila and the NorCal Raiders. We're going to stay out in California as the Oakland Raiders make their second pick of the night at number 12.
We never really second guessed being able to do it. It was just kind of like, okay, how do we go about doing it? You know what I mean? So I think we just always kind of had that confidence, like, okay, well, we want to do something, you just do it, you know? And sometimes you don't wait. And I think I honestly still have that philosophy to this day. Like, you don't necessarily wait for someone to open doors for you. Now, maybe we probably couldn't have gotten jobs at labels because we had no experience. But what we did is we created our own lane, you know, and I've never been one to wait for someone to do something for me. I'm just going to create my own lane.
With the 12th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Oakland Warriors select Takara Ross from Iowa State University. Born and raised in Chi-Town, Takara is a 6'1" forward with a lot of grit. She loves to play big inside, and it doesn't matter who is guarding her. She's able to use her body effectively and get a good shot off, and she positions herself really well to capture offensive and defensive rebounds. She's a flat-out scorer, but she also is a great passer from the block. Her transport is more decorated than the average draftee tonight, as she's played in no fewer than 12 countries: Puerto Rico, Australia, Finland, France, Ecuador, Colombia, and Romania, to name a few. Last year, in Switzerland, she put up 27 and 8. So congratulations to Takara and the Oakland Warriors. Next up, it's pick number 13 from the Atlanta Royalty. With the 13th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Atlanta Royalty select Patrice Butler from Georgia Southern University. Now, I know the host crowd down in Atlanta is excited about this one. Patrice Butler is a homegrown Georgia peach. Born in Stone Mountain, Georgia, she went to high school at Norcross before attending college at Georgia Southern and playing for the Lady Eagles. Patrice is a strong player inside the key with an excellent set of post moves and a deadly mid-range jump shot. In her most recent season in France, she averaged 10 points and 4 rebounds. She'll be joining the Royalty along with her new teammate, point guard Michaela Hauser, who was picked 3rd in the draft earlier. So congratulations to Patrice Butler and the Atlanta Royalty. Next up, pick number 14 with the GIE Male Matrix. With the 14th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the GIE Lady Matrix select Brittany Wright from Alabama State University. Brittany Wright is a 6', 170-pound forward from Detroit, Michigan. In her 4 years at Alabama State, she started her last 3 years and finished her senior campaign averaging 18 points, 7.5 rebounds, and a steal and a half per game. She was the All-SWAC Tournament MVP in 2015 and 2016, and she was the Player of the Year as well in 2017. The girl's a baller, y'all. After that, she headed out to Bulgaria in 2017, and she recently played for Team Johannesburg as part of the Eurobasket Summer League last year in 2019. The Matrix have a legit score with Brittany, so congratulations to both of them. Next, we head out to the Golden State, where the Invasion have their first pick of the draft at number 15. With the 15th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Golden State Invasion select Fatima Amin-Ra from Ryerson University. In every draft, there is always someone that you look back on in retrospect and you say, now how did they slip past so many teams? Fatima might just be that pick tonight. Hailing from Canada, she's a 5'5" fast-paced point guard who is absolutely superb in the open court. She's a floor leader and facilitator with an extremely high IQ. She's adaptable to any offensive style. And because she fills up almost every category of the stat sheet, including defense, you almost always want her on the court. Her tenacity and fundamentals, they remind me of Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, who played for the Nuggets back in the 90s. Fatima is an excellent pickup, so congratulations to Fatima and the Golden State Invasion. Next up, we are heading over to the DPH Santiago Basket, who have the 16th pick in tonight's draft. With the 16th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the DPH Santiago Basket select Iandra Molina from North Carolina Central University. They call it the basketball mecca because it has produced some of the best point guards that the game has ever seen. One such point guard is Iandra Molina. She is a 5'9" beast who attacks every play with a level of intensity that most players, they reserve for game sevens. I mean, she likes to lock in, she focuses on defense, so much so that a couple of years ago, she averaged 7 steals per game for the Olímpica de la Vega. The Santiago Basket are picking up a Dominican Republic national team member and LatinBasket.com all-LNBF first team type of player. So, congratulations to them and Iandra Molina. Now, we're headed to the Crescent City, where the Bombers have pick number 17. With the 17th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Crescent City Bombers select Jacqueline Blake from the University of Houston. Jacqueline is one of the 9 centers being drafted tonight. Coming from Miami, Florida, she's a 6'3" center who played ball for the Cougars in Houston. She also played for the GS Iraklis Thessaloniki in the Greek A1 League last year and put up 15.9 points per game alongside 7.6 rebounds per game on, check this out, y'all, 40.9% shooting from the three-point line. And that's not really something you see very often from a center. Her team won the championship in 2019. Now, on the court, opponents really get no free handouts from her. But off the court, however, she is extremely charitable as she routinely volunteers to help feed the homeless. Good luck to Jacqueline Blake and the Crescent City Bombers with their new acquisition. Let's head back over to Harlem, where the Legends have the 18th pick. With the 18th pick of the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Harlem Legends select Jasmine McRoy from the University of Massachusetts. Okay, so there are a lot of things to like about Jasmine. My personal favorite is that she was born a day before yours truly, which means her Leo nature puts everyone on notice. Her hometown is in Gaithersburg, Maryland, where after high school, she went to the University of Massachusetts. And then right after college, she played ball in Bosnia, then Albania, then Serbia, and she put up some superb numbers game after game. She was All-Albanian Player of the Year in 2017 and followed that up by making the Eurobasket.com Serbian One All-Import team in 2019. Wherever she is on the court or in the world, she never goes unnoticed. So congrats to Jasmine and the Harlem Legends. We're headed back out west to the East Bay as the Splash have their second pick of the night at number 19. Now, before we head over to pick number 19, we had a chance to sit down and have an exclusive interview with Christina King. She's a former draftee who is playing overseas now and has a tremendous career to look back on in the WBA. So she's got some advice for the new draft picks, as well as just to look back on her career. Let's talk now with Christina King. All right, Christina King, welcome. So excited to talk with you. So you are a standout WBA all-star, star athlete. So I know you were drafted back in 2016 to the GIE Matrix. Tell us about your draft experience, what you remember from that moment.
Well, first off, thank you so much for having me. And I'm so excited for these girls being drafted tonight. It's such an amazing thing. For me, when I was going through the draft, I'd played overseas already for 2 different countries. I was in Romania and Iceland. And when I came back, I met one of the people associated with the league, Jermaine Barnes, and literally changed my whole career. Basically, I got linked up with the WBA, and the difference between the WBA and other leagues is just the people and the credibility behind it. We have WNBA players, we have top international overseas players. So to be amongst that group of people and to have that kind of recognition was huge. So I made the decision to stay home for a year, play in the WBA, go against a lot of great competition. And it really propelled my career forward that much more into ways that I couldn't even imagine. Yeah.
So what was that transition like coming back from overseas? Like you're playing overseas and they come back to what was that like?
Well, coming from college, I don't think that college really teaches you how to necessarily be a pro player. You're taught how to play within a system. You're taught how to be a team person. But when you go overseas, you have to be the man, you know, you have to be that person that they rely on to help them win games. And so for me, I was always a great teammate. You're always going to get consistency with me, but I did not know how to be a pro. Playing in the WUBA taught me how to be a pro and taught me how to reach that next level in my career. So the next year when I was looking to get, you know, my next contract, I ended up going to another top league. And I went from being like a 15 points per game, 5 assists, you know, 6 rebounds, like pretty consistent, to now being over 20 points a game, over 8 rebounds, over 6 assists, leading leagues in, or being in the top 10 for leagues in 4 different categories. So it really just redefined my whole game.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because I looked, according to your stats, like in 2016, I think you averaged like 22, 7, and 6 respectively. So,
Yep.
I mean, that speaks to your talent, but also what I'm hearing is you felt like the level of competition was comparable with pretty much any other overseas league.
Absolutely, because the WBA, that's one thing. Pretty much all of the girls have definitely college experience, but a lot of them have overseas experience, and even some have WNBA experience. So you're not just talking about, oh, you know, your run-of-the-mill church league right down the street. No, you're talking about a very credible, very established league that has that kind of name recognition behind it because of the people that it's pulling in and because of the people that are supporting it as well.
Got it. So over the last month or two, there's been some big news on the personal front for you, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, care to share some things with the viewers?
Yeah, so the last 2 years I've been playing in Germany and was blessed to receive Germany MVP back-to-back. And then I just signed my contract to go play in Sweden. So I'm very excited.
All right, so when do you head to Sweden, and what are you looking forward to most?
So I actually head to Sweden on the 25th of this month, and I'm just looking forward to, one, getting back and competing again, because COVID had kind of put a stop early to our seasons last year. But also, you know, my league, we play against Euro Cup teams. So just going against that kind of high level competition is going to be amazing.
So speaking of that a little bit, like, what have you done, if you would, how have you stayed in shape, kept, like, you know, playing in the game is very different than like just shooting in the gym by yourself. But like, what have you done to stay in shape, keep that level of competition high so that you're prepared to be able to go back overseas?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been very, very tough, especially, you know, Georgia, we're pretty much shut down a lot of the time.
Absolutely.
And like very, very tough. And even with like the outdoor gyms, they've taken off the rims of the hoops and everything like that. So it's been very tough. But I've just really been focusing on getting back to the basics, you know, working a lot of my ball handling, staying in shape, working on my physique, making sure that I'm strong, you know, doing a lot of at-home workouts, a lot of strength and conditioning on my own, you know, a lot of hill conditioning workouts, which are, if anybody has ever done a workout on a hill, they know that they are one of the toughest to go
No
through.
joke.
So,
No joke.
yeah. So I've been definitely just focusing on my body and doing everything that I can to kind of, you know, keep it going, like how you ride a bike, you know, it's that muscle memory. So, you know, or doing form shooting and whatnot, just feeling the ball, touching it, making sure that it's like one with your hand has been the best thing for me during this time.
Yeah. Okay. So final question for you. When you think about the young ladies who are getting ready to start their career and at different points of their career, like, what advice would you give them? It's draft night. They're waiting to hear their name call. And they're getting ready to start their career, right? Like, as you think about the WBA and the benefits that you spoke about earlier, what advice would you give them on such a special night?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I would say take advantage of every moment. You know, your window is so small and so short. So, you know, getting drafted, that's the first step, you know, and then being able to kind of capitalize on that in every game, take it like it could potentially be your last, because you don't know who's watching. You don't know who might be, you know, getting sent the film from that game. So take advantage of every moment, live it like it's your last, and you'll just see so many positive things come through.
Nice. Love it. Thank you so much for your time. Excited for you. Congratulations again with Sweden.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll catch up again.
Again, and so excited for all of the people that are getting drafted tonight. Congrats, ladies.
There you go. Take care.
With the 19th pick of the 2020 WUBA Draft, the East Bay Splash select Allie Green from Pepperdine University.
Alandria Louise Green is a 5'10" guard from the city of Sacramento. Her height allows her to be a defensive stopper and an offensive juggernaut. Her shot is effortless, and she forces the defense to spread out, which allows occasionally for some favorable one-on-one coverage or the ability for some of her other players to get some good looks. At Pepperdine, she started all 4 years for the Waves. She played for Team Los Angeles in the Eurobasket Summer League in Vegas, then Team Japan in Tampa, and most recently she headed out to Lithuania where she played for the Douglas BBL. At 24, she's got a lot of potential. Congrats to the East Bay Splash and their new recruit, Allie Green. Next up, heading back to the New York City, where the Aztecs have the 20th pick of the draft.
With the 20th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the New York Aztecs select Rachel Kahoy from Eastern Michigan University.
Rachel is one of the tallest players in tonight's draft. Born in St. Clair, Michigan, Rachel is 6 feet 5 inches tall and 195 pounds. And wow, is she mobile. She has good footwork for someone her size, and she has a very soft touch on the jump shot. A lot of taller players, you don't really see them using their full potential, but if you watch Rachel play, she puts forth the full effort. In 2017, 2018, she averaged 19 points and 16 rebounds, and she routinely shoots over 50% from the field. Again, speaking about that versatility index, she fills up the stat categories pretty easily. She'll be paired with the forward who was drafted at number 7, Monique Coker. So good pickups for the New York Aztecs. Congratulations to Rachel Kahoy. Next up are the Oklahoma Ravens with pick number 21.
With the 21st pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Oklahoma Ravens select Addie Clift from Oklahoma Christian University.
At age 23, Addie's one of the youngest draftees tonight. Born in Kiowa, Oklahoma, Addie played high school ball for the Kiowa Cowgirls, and then she stayed in her home state at Oklahoma and played for the Lady Eagles of Oklahoma Christian. She increased her averages in every statistical category each year at Oklahoma, topping out at a whopping 26 points per game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals per contest in her senior year. This made her a top scorer in the NCAA Division II basketball, and she made the NCAA All-American second team. She recently joined Team Zurich, where she continued her stellar play, shooting an insane 75% from the field. The Ravens have a good one with Addie, so congratulations to the Oklahoma Ravens and Addie Clift. Next up, we're heading out to Atlanta, where the Lady Savage have the 22nd pick of the draft.
With the 22nd pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Atlanta Savage select Devona Stell from Elizabeth City State University.
Devona, a.k.a. Devo Stell, hails from Atlanta, Georgia. Having just graduated college, she's actually the youngest person in our draft tonight. She's a 6'4", long, athletic post player who runs the floor well, active on defense, blocks shots, rebounds the ball. She's a versatile player with a strong offensive game, taking high percentage shots. She scored 1,000 points in college at Elizabeth City State University and ranked 20th in the nation in rebounding and 7th in the nation in double-doubles. She'll be playing for the Savage this year, and we'll see who they will couple her with, as they actually have 2 more picks in the second round. Congratulations, Devo and the Lady Savage. And with the final pick of the first round, the DPH Santiago Basket make their second and final pick of the draft tonight. Let's listen up.
With the 23rd pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the DPH Santiago Basket select Yamel Abreu from St. Peter's University.
Yamel is a 5'10" swing woman from Elizabeth, New Jersey. She attended JUCO at Union County College for a couple years before she transferred over to the Peacocks to play at St. Peter's. She's left a lot of people behind with her lightning quick crossover. In 2014, she led FIBA Americas in steals at 3.2 steals per game, and she converted those steals into layups on the other end pretty consistently. She made the NGCAA All-American First Team in 2018, and she's a member of the Dominican Republican national team. High energy style of play from Yamel Abreu and good pickup by DPH. We're going to take a short break before starting round 2. And what's exciting is that we will hear shortly from the founder of the WUBA, Jermaine Barnes, who will give us insight into the league's beginnings, the restart this year, and picks he's excited about. All this coming up after a short commercial break.
Cool. Well, I am with Jermaine Barnes, the founder of the Women's Universal Basketball Association, WBA. We're having this amazing draft today, man. Thank you so much for the opportunity to sit down and talk.
No problem, man. I'm glad to be here. You got me up in the middle of the night, but it's always good to hear from you.
Absolutely, man. So tell the people where you hail from. Where are you at this point?
I'm in Cologne, Germany right now. I've been over here for the last 3 years. We're global, so, this is what we do. Feel like the best situation for management in our company is people that are directly connected to FIBA and able to really make a change and a difference in helping these girls get jobs, really.
Yeah. So you are strategically placed in Cologne to be able to make that happen. So let me ask you, man. So take us back, right? So it was 2011. You guys got started with the WUBA. Tell me what your original vision for it was. I know you had the men's league going, so talk me through that.
Well, actually, I grew up around a lot of women that played the game. It wasn't like it is now. It was way more love and passion for it. And I was a basketball fanatic. And I fell in love with Cynthia Cooper. Fell in love with her. And that changed my whole dynamic on the women's game, the way she played, the passion she played with. And that's where it started. And I had a close friend of mine named Patricia Hartman. She was playing in Hungary at the time, and she got hurt. I came home from Japan, and she said, "We have no outlets. We have no leagues. We have nothing." And I'm like, "How do you not have a league? All this talent here." And she said, "Nobody cares about us." So I took that opportunity to invest my own money into the women in the city. So this guy named Jared Johnson at the time, he was working at a big church and they had a gym facility. And I sat down with him and I said, "What is it going to take for me to get this started for our people, for our girls, for our ladies?" I wanted them to have that opportunity, and I wanted Patricia to get back in Europe. And I knew I could make it happen if I could get her back in the marketing stage of basketball, because it's a business. People need to know that you're wanted, So I had to build a platform to show people who she was again, and also, the other ladies, Sharita Triggs. We had a lot of girls that can really play. Nikita Gartrell. There was a lot of them. So we wanted to get them over. So we had to create the brand. That's how it started.
Wow. Okay, man, that's a good story. So you guys, in the first couple years, from what I understood, you were sending people overseas left and right. It felt like that was a mission of the WBA, and different from a lot of leagues in general, but women's leagues in particular. You guys were really successful at getting women these jobs overseas.
Right. Well, minor leagues are minor leagues, right? You get there, you play games, you go home. So what sets you apart? We wanted to be the players' league that players actually did get signed. And man, our first year, we sent 20. It was crazy. And every year for the men and women, that's what it was. They get people placed. And that's what it was about for us in those early days, is making sure our people went over or got the closest opportunity to getting over. So I'm just thankful, for the hustle and the grind. Nobody worked that hard for me. So I had the resources, and I wanted to give my people an opportunity to move on and get to do the things I was doing. So, I always call myself MC Hammer because you always want to help and give back to your people, but it seems like after a while you get burned out because everybody doesn't share the same conviction, loyalty, and grind for helping each other. We just live in that kind of society and that kind of world.
Yep. And then, unfortunately, a lot gets left on the table for talented athletes, right? And so you guys took a little break for a little while, right? Was that part of the burnout or what was that?
Well, anybody that has a conversation with me, they already know it's going to be raw. It's going to be truthful. I just felt like the ladies lost sight of what it was about. For me, it's about the game. I love the game. I don't love men. I don't love women. I love the game. Mm-hmm. So when people try to bring things to the game that have nothing to do with the game, I get offended because that's the game I love and that's the game that saved my life. It gave my child shelter because that's how I pay my bills. So when you drive agenda in a pure sport, it doesn't work for me. So when I learned that basketball wasn't number one to the ladies, I decided to take a step back. There's no point in me investing my money, my time, and my resources into helping people that don't appreciate it anyway. They're just going to mess it up. And that came from a lot of young ladies going to these teams, getting in trouble, going to these events with FIBA and partying, not taking care of business. We're all young, and I don't mind them being young, but handle your business first. So I kind of got burned out with the helping. And we're the only league, and I'll boldly say it, we had WNBA head coaches at our home games, at our drafts, and this is documented information, and we were the only people doing this stuff and pushing for our ladies this hard. I mean, the Southern Generals drafted 3 WNBA players before it was fashionable. I won't go too deep into name dropping, but Shamika Holzcloth was with us during a time where she really needed, and I know for a fact Jared and the Generals stood in there for her and helped her and spoke up for her to get her career back on track. So we had a lot of great things going on, and when you spoil your kids, they don't have that grind that the grandparents had to build the opportunities. So they took it for granted. So I got tired of it. So I said, this is not worth my investment anymore. So that's why, in 2017, I said, that's it.
Man, and you left a hole in the women's basketball space, for a while,
yeah.
In terms of minor league basketball, man.
Yeah.
So when you think about it now, like what interested you in getting this back up and going? I know you brought on some really good leadership. We've had a chance to interview them on a podcast that we have, but tell us about kind of like the reinvigorated, did you just wake up one night like, we got to get this back going again? Did somebody come to you? Did you what prompted it?
I mean, great question. I mean, to be honest with it, I was done. I started doing FIBA international events and the girls were getting signed from that. And I said, I'll just do that because it doesn't take as much time. It only takes a week. So the girls would be in these countries for a week and I'd get them signed and that would be it. With a league, you're working year round. But I had very close friends of mine that are working in the WNBA, ex-WNBA players and current pro players saying, JB, we need an outlet, and we want the league back. And these other leagues aren't really doing nothing for us. And, we took it for granted. And, I said, I'll think about it. But then it's like you meet great young people and you meet new people and you get in new regions and you see that these people have a hunger for it where your people took it for granted. It's almost like the story of Christ, in his city, it wasn't much respect, but then he had a global impact on the world once he left it. It was kind of like that. Like people really wanted the league back. They appreciated the small things we do, making sure everything was meticulous and they were getting to where they were getting to. And then all of our girls, like the Christina Kings, were getting MVP awards and so much love in Europe. They're like, we want that too. So, once we started getting better people involved, it kind of got me excited again about doing it. And, you know, I'm all about need. I'm not selfish. So my personal feelings never drive what I do. So I'll give you an example. If I end the league in 2017 and I never bring it back, what happens to the next Cynthia Cooper? What happens to the next Patricia Hartman, the next Christina King, you know, the Brianna Williams, all these girls we saved? We might have 30 crazy people, but if you saved one per year, what happens when I stop fulfilling the purpose of saving people? You know, so I had to think about that. So that's why I brought in new management, and I really took a step back. Like, Christy is amazing, you know, and she, you know, she can listen to the women, she can listen to them, and she can vibe with them. I'm a man, so I see things the way I see them, and things need to be done a certain way. But I felt like at this point in life, that's what the women need. They need each other, and they need to feed off each other. I'm here for support. I'm here, you know, for the placement. I'm here to do all of that. But at the same time, I felt like it was time to diversify our league as far as so much male influence. All of our leaders were males. So I thought it was super important that we brought intelligent, hardworking females on board to save our women also, because nobody can save a young Black man but a strong, older Black man. So I can't touch women the way women can touch women. So I felt like it was super important to get some highly intelligent women involved in what we're doing. And we have some phenomenal women working with us right now.
You do. I mean, got a chance to chat with Christy, understand her perspective. Obviously, she has an excellent basketball story and background with her dad. And then she's got an extensive business career. You even see some of the influence of her background in media and that in entertainment industry. And so, you know, but as we sit here today, man, we got a whole draft going on, right? You got a whole draft going on for minor league basketball. I'm not aware of a lot of different leagues, men or women, that do this, and not in the scale that the WUBA is doing it. So, you know, with that, like, you obviously feel refreshed and got new visions. What are some things that people can expect from this, you know, this WUBA 2.0, the restart?
Yeah, like, we're still competitive. I'm an athlete. When I'm 80 years old, I'll be competitive. I want to be the best. If we're going to be involved in a women's minor league, we're going to be the best one there is. I want Europe to look at us and say, that's the standard. We don't want to deal with anybody else but them, you know? So as far as goals, you can't do the same exact thing as we did before. I have to be better. So the league will stay the same, but I wanted to incorporate 2 leagues. So in the fall, we have a league. That's for my rookies that didn't get signed. In the summer, that's our super league. That's for when all of our overseas girls come home. May through August, that's when we're going to do our red carpet award show, all-star weekends, the playoffs. Like, I have a lot planned for them. And we still have the FIBA events built in where 3 of our WUBA teams get invited to these European countries to compete and sign and get jobs and also win championships. Right now, we just signed Toronto, Canada, and we're expanding out there because there's great, fantastic basketball in Canada. You know, California is doing a remarkable job right now. So I'm really excited about these markets. You know, California, New York, Canada really have me excited. It's not to knock the South. The South has been here from the beginning, but I feel like we take our stuff for granted when we've always had it. These other conferences are hungry. They want this. It was never in their cities before, and they're proud to be a part of what we're doing. So it drives me to be more creative, to build more relationships, to travel to more countries and sit down with more general managers, making sure our girls get opportunities. And it doesn't have to be, oh, they're getting rich. Sometimes our players like Christina King sign for big contracts, but then other times we'll have rookies that only sign for $300, but the team might give them a master's degree. It's so many different, it's so many, in Ireland, there's so many different elements to this thing to help better their lives and also give them an opportunity to play abroad, because that's where I grew up. When I left home at 22 years old and started playing overseas, I became a man. It helps you grow up. You're on your own, you know, so these are life lessons, and this is my purpose, and I take it very seriously. I won't bend for anybody. I won't change who we are, our principles in how we do business. People may be upset because they want to freelance your business, but for me, we'll never lose our standards for excellence in how we market and promote our players and how we change their lives.
Man, that's powerful. So there's really only one question that I have left that I can think of, man, is 46 girls are getting drafted, and we're halfway through it. Tell me who is one player, right? I'm sure every player is talented. Every single one of them. I got to see the videos, got to see the highlights, got to see many of them in person. But tell me one player who maybe surprised you, that, you had heard about this person, but then when you finally got to see them in person, you got to see them live, you're like, wow, she is really talented. Who would that be?
Right. KK Hauser, easily. I saw KK play in Lebanon. We grew a great respect for each other because I'm a big-time trash talker, and she's a big-time competitor. And I fell in love with her then. And last year she was in Italy, and I mean, she did her thing, and we communicate all the time. Now she's a businesswoman. She owns a gym out of her hometown in Nebraska. And for her to convert down here and want to be involved in the brand tells me a lot about her. She cares about her people. She cares about the game of basketball for women. And people like her wouldn't support what we're doing unless we were doing the right things, So she's definitely somebody I was very impressed with when I saw her in person. So I already know what she's going to do in the league. It's going to be very exciting to see her, especially when all the overseas girls come home. Another one, Asia Logan. Asia Logan is a freak athlete. I've seen Asia play many years. Her and Christina were actually teammates in Switzerland. When we sent Christina to Switzerland, that was the first time we met Asia. So, Asia's MVP in France, and 6'1", played for the University of Pittsburgh. Girl can dunk. She's just a freak athlete. But to see them in person, yeah, it's a lot of fun. The last time I seen Asia was at our event in Toulouse, France, the United Cup, and she was named MVP. So she's another exciting addition to the league. This summer is going to be crazy to have all of these people in under one umbrella. So when the playoffs hit and the top two from each conference come into Atlanta and they do battle, and then we see that all-star game, I want to bring back 80s and 90s basketball where being competitive was cool. Not being cool is cool. So
okay, I got you.
Yeah. I love these girls coming in fighting for it. Fight for it. Yeah.
That's good, man. Yeah, I both individuals you mentioned, really talented. I remember seeing Michaela Hauser and just watching, thinking like, smart, quick, can shoot. She reminds me of like a Steve Nash, where like every dribble is purposeful. Like she doesn't waste any dribbles, and so just really smart. So appreciate the conversation. Can't wait to see the second half of the draft and who gets back, man. And thanks for giving us a little preview of what's to come, as well as the backstory of the WUBA, man. And congratulations to you and everything you guys have going on.
And listen, thank you for waking me up in the middle of the night.
No problem.
And you guys are doing a fantastic job. You and your company, you guys are doing a fantastic job. I want to thank you guys for covering the WUBA. I know all of my ladies are grateful. You guys are super professional. We look forward to doing more business with you, and I thank you and commend you for everything you've done today.
Hey, man. Happy to assist. You guys take care, man.
All right, man. Be safe.
All right. Yep, you too.
So we got to hear from Jermaine Barnes, founder of the WUBA. Had a lot of great things to share. I mean, a tremendous league with a rich history and a lot of talent.
You heard how many girls got to go overseas over the years, and that's a key focus of the league. And so in the second half, we're excited to get back to the action. We've got some really, really talented draft picks. So without further ado, let's listen to the first pick in the second round of the 2020 WUBA Draft.
With the first pick in the second round of the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Georgia Disciples select Kylie Smith from Belmont University.
Hailing from Burnsville, Minnesota, Kylie Smith is a tall guard at 6 feet tall. She attended Belmont University, starting each year and putting up some crazy numbers. She's a shooter who needs very little space to actually get her shot up, and if you do give her that space, it's going in 40% of the time. She wears the number 23 because of her admiration of Michael Jordan. Her favorite WNBA player is the champion and activist Maya Moore. Kylie led Ireland in points last year with an average stat line of 24.5 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and 1.4 blocks per game. Congrats to Kylie and the Georgia Disciples. Tremendous pickup for them. Next up, we have the Queens New York Dragons with pick number 2 of the second round.
With the second pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Queens New York Dragons select Michaela Parson from the University of Richmond.
Michaela claims Virginia as her hometown. Born in North Chesterfield, athleticism is literally running through her veins. Her father, Stephen Parson, played football actually at JMU, and her uncle, Mark Parson, played football at Ohio University. Michaela is a 5'8" guard who shows serious dedication to her craft. Just in college alone, she increased her free throw percentage by 11 percentage points in only 2 years. Always on the prowl, Michaela averaged 2.3 steals per game in her senior year at Richmond and took home Most Improved Player of the Year awards in the All-Atlantic. She also made the third team. So congrats to Michaela and the Queens New York Dragons. Next up, we're heading back to Atlanta where the Royalty have pick number 3.
With the third pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Atlanta Royalty select Ryan Beeman from South Carolina State University.
Ryan is one of those players who is best described by saying that this woman has a motor. She's locked in and she keeps at it play after play. As a 5'9" guard out of Stone Mountain, Georgia, she attended high school in Stevenson, and after graduation, she stayed in the Peach City and went to Georgia Southern for her first 3 years before transferring over to finish up at South Carolina State. In college, she put up some good numbers, averaging 11 points and 4 rebounds per contest. Ryan will join Michaela Hauser and Patrice Butler, who were each picked up by the Atlanta Royalty earlier in the draft. Congrats to the Royal family and Ryan Beeman. Next up are the Southern Lady Generals with the 4th pick of the second round.
With the 4th pick of the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Southern Lady Generals select Alexis Brown of Georgia Southern University.
Born in Madison, Georgia, Alexis Brown is a 5'6" guard who played high school ball for the Morgan County Bulldogs. She then attended college at Georgia Southern University, where she started each year, beginning with her freshman year. And like Michaela Parson, who was drafted earlier, Alexis, too, improved her free throw shooting by 15 percentage points in college alone. And at one point, she was shooting 47% from the three-point line, y'all. All she sees is nylon. Her appetite for buckets earned her a number 13 spot on the all-time Georgia Southern scoring list. And she also made the All-Sun Belt second team in 2019. Congrats to Alexis and the Southern Lady Generals. We've really got some good backcourts being stacked right now. We're going back to Cali to see who the NorCal Raiders scoop up with their second pick of the night.
With the 5th pick in the second round of the 2020 WUBA Draft, the NorCal Raiders select Ashley Ellis from Concordia University, Irvine. With the 6th pick of the second round of the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Atlanta Energy select Tatiana Wayne from Columbus State University.
So we have our first draft trade of the night. Tatiana is a 5'6" point guard from Lawrenceville, Georgia. She attended Columbus State University, and when they unleashed her into the starting five in 2017, she gave them 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.3 steals, and she blocked 1 shot each game. 2 years later, she headed to Cyprus, where she went absolutely ham by scoring 27.5 points, 10.5 rebounds. She got 3.5 assists and got 4.3 steals per contest in the first 14 games. Let me tell you, I cannot wait to see her get back on the court post-COVID. You'll hear it from me first. This could be one of those Tom Brady picks where in a couple years we're having a documentary on what the heck happened here. She was originally drafted by Atlanta Energy, but has been traded to the Georgia Disciples. Congrats to Tatiana and the Georgia Disciples. We're staying in the South and heading to OKC, where the Outlaws make their first and only pick tonight. So before we head over to pick number 7 with the Oklahoma Outlaws, we have a live video conference call with Alexis Gray Lawson. She was picked number 5 by Oakland Warriors. Let's tune in now to see how she feels during the draft.
All right, so we are with Alexis Gray Lawson, 5th pick of the WUBA draft. She got drafted to the Oakland Warriors. So excited to talk with you. How are you feeling right now? Congratulations about the draft pick.
Thank you. I'm feeling good. I'm excited about playing at home, and I can't wait to get started.
Yeah. So how does it feel to be able to play at home in Oakland? That's where you're based. That's where you grew up. Like, how does that excite you? Tell me about that.
For me, I'm super excited. My kids get to see me play for the first time, so that's super exciting. My family will be able to support. And I just could give back to the community that once gave so much to me. So I'm super excited just to be in a city that I love. And yeah, it's going to be nice.
So you got drafted to the WNBA a couple years back, and you've had just a tremendous career in terms of varied experiences. At this point, what are you looking to contribute? And what do you feel like is what you're excited about looking to offer to the team, just given the amount of experience you've had and success?
Yeah, I mean, so I've been retired for a couple years, and now it's my coming out party for me. And I'm a lot older than I was when I first started. So for me, I think on this particular team, it's a lot of leadership, just being vet savvy and really being able to get on my team and help us to really develop and get better. I think that's really what we're going to have to focus on in the season because, we're going to probably be really young. And so I'm excited about it. And hopefully, my teammates are excited too.
Cool. Well, appreciate the time. Congratulations. Thank you for taking the call. Super excited to see you play. Love your game. Crossover, pull up, in, out, all of it, really good, full scope. So congratulations again. And
thank you so much.
Can't wait to see you ball out.
Appreciate it.
All right.
With the 7th pick in the second round of the 2020 WUBA draft, the Oklahoma Outlaws select Brianna Reed from Southern Utah University. With the 8th pick of the second round in the 2020 WUBA draft, the Oklahoma Ravens select Mia Castaneda from Washburn University. They say everything is bigger in Texas. Well, big things also come in small packages. Born in the Lone Star State, Mia Castaneda is a 5'6" point guard who started her first 2 years in JUCO at Clarendon College, transferred over to Texas Tech for her junior year, and finished up at Washburn University. She averaged 8.3 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists per game during her tenure in the NCAA. She was the Texas High School Player of the Year and made the NJCAA second team in college. After graduation, she joined Team Johannesburg for the Eurobasket Summer League and now is looking to help the Ravens hunt for a championship. Congrats to Mia Castaneda and the Oklahoma Ravens. Next up, the San Fran Angels make their second pick of the night. With the 9th pick of the second round of the 2020 WUBA draft, the San Francisco Angels select Brittany Shine from the University of California. Born in Sacramento, California, Brittany is a 5'10" shooting guard who plays with only one destination in mind, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the bottom of the net. She shoots three-pointers like they're free throws. and does it very efficiently. When you figure that San Francisco Angels, like they now have Moran Johnson on one wing and Brittany Shine on the other wing, it's like we got our own version of the Splash Sisters out in the Bay. Brittany played for the University of Florida and the University of California in college. She headed to Portugal in 2016 and now plays Division A ball in Cyprus. Congrats to the Angels and good luck to Brittany Shine. Next up, we're heading back to the Dirty South, where the Energy have the 10th pick of the draft. Let's see what they do after trading Tatiana Wayne earlier at number 6.
With the 10th pick in the second round of the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Georgia Energy select Maya Taylor from the University of Tennessee at Martin.
All right. So as my dad would say, there are scorers and then there are scorers. Ladies and gentlemen, Maya Taylor is a 100% unequivocal scorer, no questions asked. Coming to us from Dyersburg, Tennessee, Maya attended college at the University of Tennessee at Martin. She started each year before transferring over to Bethel University, where she was given the green light in her senior year and put up 22 points each contest. Maya has never seen a shot she didn't like, and apparently the feeling is mutual because the Rims awarded her with a favorable 43.5% three-point shooting percentage last year while she was playing for Team Johannesburg. I honestly did not know how they do it, but the Energy found a way. Congratulations to the organization and Maya Taylor. Next up, let's hit 85 South through the city, where the Georgia Disciples have the 11th pick of the second round.
With the 11th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft second round, the Georgia Disciples select Imani Tilford from Georgia Tech.
Okay, so I've seen Imani play in person, and now I really need to look at the calendar and see when these good Georgia Disciples and the Atlanta Energy games are, solely based upon their draft picks. Hometown of Valhalla, New York, she's a 5', 5" point guard with great handles, even better court vision, and leadership skills that would put any coach at ease with her in the backcourt. She plays hard on defense and averages around 2 steals per contest. In 2015, she was ranked 83 nationally by ESPN, and 2 years later, she made the All-ACC defensive team. I'm looking for a breakout year from Imani, so congratulations to her and the Disciples. Next up, let's head to Queens, New York, where the Dragons have the 12th pick in the draft.
With the 12th pick in the second round of the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Queens, New York Dragons select Sasha Williams from Stockton University.
Sasha is a native of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. She went to high school at Cherry Hill West and played ball for the Stockton University team, where she finished 3rd in the NGAC in rebounding and 7th in scoring. She set a school record for career blocks at 432 and is 2nd all-time in rebounding and 11th in scoring. She is a player of great athletic ability, and she's capable of finishing at the rim. At 6'2", she's like a Swiss Army knife because you can play her against the bigs down low, but on a pick and roll, she's a scary sight for a smaller player. She earned Player of the Year honors in 2018, and now she plays for Spain, averaging 18 points and 9 rebounds respectively. Congratulations to Sasha Williams and the Queens, New York Dragons. Now we're going to head out to the Golden State, where the Invasion have the 13th pick in the second round of the 2020 draft.
Having the self-confidence, like, you have to fake it until you make it, because if you don't believe in yourself, who else is going to believe in you, and who else is going to step in and help guide you to where you want to go? So I've always tried to be very upfront and like open and transparent and blunt, per se, about what I wanted to get out of my career, out of, just life in general, because like I said, if you just, sit around and stay quiet, like, nobody knows what your goals are, and so they might be able to help you, but they don't have any awareness of what you're trying to do.
With the 13th pick in the WUBA 2020 draft, the Golden State Invasion select Jasmine Jackson from Pepperdine University.
Jasmine is a 5'9", 155-pound guard from Oakland, California. She played high school ball at Sacred Heart Cathedral Prep, and after that, she headed to college at Pepperdine, where she started for the Waves. She averaged 2.5 steals per game, where she was twice awarded Defensive Player of the Year honors. She made the All-WCC first team in 2013 and averages about 38% from the field. Jasmine has excellent IQ on the block. She's great with her pivot foot and has a solid mid-range jump shot. Congratulations to Jasmine Jackson and the Golden State Invasion. Next up, the Harlem Legends have the 14th pick of the second round.
With the 14th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Harlem Legends select Tatiana Pogonza Dumas.
Tatiana is a 5'8" guard who really has only one speed, and that is turbo. She's got solid ball handling and passing, a really good assist-to-turnover ratio for a point guard. She began her play in Sydney in 2017 and has averaged good, consistent numbers each year. Her biggest strength is her mid-range game and her on-the-ball pressure defense. Last year, she averaged 12.6 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 3 assists in Australia, and made the All-Mitchell Cup defensive team earlier this year. She believes in taking the 5-finger discount whenever possible, as she is top 5 in steals routinely. Congratulations to Tatiana and the Harlem Legends. Next up, the East Bay Splash make the selection at number 15.
With the 15th pick of the second round in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the East Bay Splash select Katie Backlin from San Francisco State University. With the 16th pick of the second round in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Atlanta Lady Savage select Sherelle George from Purdue University.
Born in Noonan, Georgia, Sherelle is a 5'3" point guard. She played for the Boilermakers and was the All-Big Ten Sixth Player of the year that they made it to the Sweet 16. The reason you want her with the ball in her hands whenever possible is that she has professional ball handling skills, so much so that she played multiple seasons with the Harlem Globetrotters. Known affectionately as Torch, she is only the 16th female Globetrotter, and she's a world record holder. She'll be bringing all of those talents to the Lady Savage this year. So congratulations to the Lady Savage and to Sherelle George. Next, we're going to head out to the Bay Area, where the Jokers have the 17th pick of the draft.
With the 17th pick in the second round of the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Bay Area Jokers select Chelsea Phillips from Park University.
Chelsea is a 6'3", 155-pound small forward from Long Beach, California. She played ball at Rancho Domingo High School, where she averaged 14 points, 8 boards, 2 steals, and 2 blocks as a senior before starting her college career at Park University. Chelsea's an early entry to the draft with skills and the tenacity to be a professional. She's long and she's a good defender. Congratulations to Chelsea and the Bay Area Jokers. Next up, we're heading back to Georgia for the Disciples to make their final pick of the draft.
With the 18th pick in the second round of the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Georgia Disciples draft and trade the rights to Ashley Hagan from Brenau University.
So we have our second sign and trade deal of the night. Ashley Hagan was originally drafted to the Georgia Disciples and traded to the Atlanta Royalty. She's a 5'8" guard who always makes it look like she's in a shooting drill on the court. She has good footwork, good balance, and a great touch. At Brenau, she averaged 21 points and 3 steals per contest. She was the NAIA steals leader and a first-team All-American in 2010. Brenau, knowing a good talent when they have one, named her to the Brenau Basketball Hall of Fame last year. What a resume. Congratulations to Ashley and the Atlanta Royalty on their newly acquired talent. We are down to the last 5 picks of the draft. Let's head back inside the perimeter, where the Georgia Energy have the 19th pick. Just before we head over to the 19th pick, we have an exclusive interview with Chastity Melvin. She is a professional basketball player who is now the assistant coach for the Phoenix Mercury.
Cool. Well, I am here with Chastity Melvin. Thank you so much for the opportunity to have this conversation. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the convo. We got the WUBA draft happening today.
Yeah, I learned about it. Obviously, I played for the WUBA after I got released from the WNBA, and I was trying to get back in the league. So, yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, what do you recall from your WUBA days that excite you about this draft that they're having today?
Well, I'm just excited because for me, I didn't know really how privileged I was, playing in the WNBA and playing on the highest level until that my last year they were pushing the vets out. I got released and they told me about this league. I was in Atlanta with my sister, so I was good friends with Shamika Holtzclaw. She had played. She was like, "Chaz, I'm telling you, they can ball. And I'm like, okay, like let me go check it out. I'm thinking to myself, I'm the best, so let's see how they. But for me, it was great. It was really humbling just because I'm like, dang, I've been really blessed because they could actually play. Shamika and I enjoyed balling out on the court. There was a lot of respect there. There was a lot of respect for the coaches. So for me, it just gave me a whole new perspective on how big women's basketball is across the board. For me, I mean, I'd play with players overseas, but just to know that league was going on and then, afterwards hanging out with some of the players, and they're like, I got to work a 9 to 5. I'm trying to get to the game. I'm trying to get to practice. It just really humbled me and just, reminded me how blessed I was. So for me, I was like, wow, I had a great pro career. And then to experience that was pretty awesome.
So when you think about your pro career and going from college to playing for the pros, like what were some of the biggest changes? Like how did you have to either adjust your practices, your gameplay, your mindset, your habits? Like what adjustments did you make to play at the next level?
I had to change everything. Just like it's like you just think you're really good and then you get to the pros and it's like, dang, can I play? You start questioning yourself. So first I would say just mentally, really keeping that confidence because like, you're the best thing once you leave college and then you go to the pros and it's like, they're coming for you. The vets are not trying to lose their spot. So mentally, you just have to stay strong. So I just created a strong foundation and just knowing my game, knowing my skill sets, putting in the extra work, coming to practice early, listening to the vets, watching film, talking to my coaches, and just trying to become a pro. I had to learn how to become a pro. And it's totally different. I would say it was more fun in college, and then in the pros, it's really a business. Although my family or friends would never say that, like you're living the life, but it is cutthroat. Everyone wants your spot, trades, different things, different coaches. So for me, I had to learn that it was a business, and that was the difference.
So take me back to 1999. You're getting drafted, getting picked. You got picked like 11th overall, right?
Yes.
How did you feel? I mean, we watched it on TV. I've never been fortunate enough to experience that, but like you're there, you're seated, and you're waiting to hear your name call. Take us through that experience. Like, how did you feel?
Well, for me, Coach, it was crazy because I didn't go. I was really nervous because I had actually went to the ABL before that. And there was a little rift between the ABL and the WBA, so they weren't all the ABL players were in the draft. So that, like, imagine how much talent that was, and there are only 12 teams. So for me, I was like, I want to watch this with my family. I'm not gonna think about it. And then my agent called my parents and let them know, and then it was just like, all right, I'm in there. I got to make it what to do. That's just how I felt. So I missed that whole – I was actually at the ABL draft, so that feeling was amazing when I got drafted number 2. But I didn't want to go through that just kind of being, like, unsure. And I chose the ABL over the WNBA. So for me, it was a different story. But I was elated. My family was happy. And I was just ready to become a pro and play with the best.
Yeah. At what point did you start thinking about coaching and start having, like, some coaching aspirations?
Wow, that's crazy. I never thought about coaching when I was playing. I did always say I wanted to go back and learn from my college coach, who was the great Coach K at NC State University. She was my mentor. So for me, I did want to experience that just to learn under her. but I really never thought about coaching. I was just like, okay, when I retire, if Coach Al's still there, I'm gonna go back and just kind of learn from her and see what it's like see what coaching is about. You know, I just missed the game so much. And I was able to, and I missed the pro game. So I was like, coaching was kind of like the only way to get back around it. And so I said, you know what, let me try it out. Like, I know I mean, it's the pros. I wanted to coach the pros. And fortunately, I was able to get into the NBA assistant coaches program. I was one of the 2 females to get in that program. And that just opened up doors for me. I mean, I was blessed to have that opportunity and that platform to kind of be around the NBA coaching side and the former NBA players. And I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about the NBA guys as far as we share similar stories as far as a pro. You know, they try to make it seem like basketball is so different. Kind of like I looked at when I came back to the WUBA, can they really play or what, you know? And so I learned, you know, working with them every day, it's still the game, on the highest level, and your competitive drive and trying to be the best, and just learning about the background of coaching and scouting really helped me a lot.
It sounds like that's an awesome program. I got a chance to chat with Lisa Willis, who you know was obviously another member of the program, and I mean, look at what's done for her career as well too. Tell us a little bit about that coaching development program. How did it prepare you to become, you know, where you are now?
Well, it helped me get experience, and what a lot of college coaches and pro coaches were telling me, I didn't have some of the expertise in scouting and working with the different programs, sports code, huddle, all the different programs where you're cutting the film and, you know, making the player movies and getting all the scouts and plays and scouting players, learning about the different talent levels you need for the different systems. So for me, I was hands-on, and I was able to do that. I was able to coach in the G League, and I was able to coach at the NBA draft and hang around scouts, talk to scouts, and talk to different people. So it was very instrumental in helping me kind of speed up that level of experience I was missing, because I played basketball year round for 14 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, I didn't really get, and that's what they kept saying, you don't have coaching experience. So the NBA was kind of the NBA developmental program was like a boot camp for me to
a bridge.
Yeah, a bridge the gap. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. So 2 final questions for you. One is that you've played, you know, obviously at the professional level, but you also played in some really interesting places, right? Italy, Israel, Spain, Poland, Russia, I think China as well too. What was your favorite location?
Oh, Israel, hands down. Shout out to my Israelis, forever, my second home. So yeah, I have fun in Israel.
What was it about Israel that kind of is at the top for you?
Well, it wasn't the money. They don't pay the most money. So I missed out on that. But I mean, I guess because I'm really low key. I enjoy being part of the culture. I grew up in the country, so I'm used to being surrounded by family and friends and good food. So Israel kind of reminded me of that. It was small, and I embraced the culture as well. And then all the teams were kind of together. So it kind of reminded me of playing in the ACC. All of the teams were right there together. All that kind of stuff. Okay. So for me, I enjoyed that part, and the WNBA was more business side. So for me, it kind of balanced out. But the money countries were Russia and China and Korea. I didn't venture over there much. But I did go, but Israel is by far the best country.
By far, okay. So, got 45 young ladies who are, you know, making their debut. Some of them played overseas as well, but they're getting drafted into the WUBA. What advice would you have for them? I think based on the analytics, we saw that the average age is 25.9 or something like that. So, you know, early on in their career, what advice would you give to them as they're making this step in their journey?
My advice would be to focus on the present moment. You know, I think you get drafted and you're thinking already okay, about towards the end of the season, or am I going to start? Or am I going to come off the bench? Or you're just getting ahead of yourself. Get in there, put your head down, get to work, you know, really learn your game, learn the system that you're under, you know what I mean? And if you don't, if you're a scorer and you're the backup scorer, once you get to a team, you got to figure out real quick what kind of role you're going to have on the team. Instead of getting negative or, you know, get mentally down on yourself, you got to pick up another role, and you got to pick it up quick, you know, get some offensive rebounds, become a passer, become a decoy, a great screener. I think that's what a lot of people don't understand about the pros. You know, I've played on every level, but I've come off the bench. I've been told just be an offensive rebounder. I've been dominant as far as getting the ball inside. I've not played on a team. I've never gotten off the bench. So with USA Basketball, I didn't get off the bench. So I think players have to understand that they have to stay mentally confident once you make it pro and realize real quick, okay, how can I stay on the team? What can my role be? And just, try to stay ahead of the game. And always be ready. Always be ready. Because you never know when you're really call. So a lot, like I tell these ladies, like, that's the biggest thing. Like, I'm sitting on the bench, I'm not going to play. I'm like, you never know when your number's called. And, NBA guys will tell you, too. Now, one time your number called, if you ain't ready,
right.
It's not a good look. No one's listening to the excuses.
So let me ask, so how do you stay motivated, right? Like trying to stay ready for something that you don't know when or if it will happen, right? Like what's the motivation at that point? Like how do you stay ready?
The motivation is having a pregame routine. I think sometimes when you aren't playing, you feel like I'm just rebound, or I'm just going to go through the motions with my warm up, or I ain't really going to shoot.
I ain't getting in the game anyway, so whatever.
I ain't getting in the game anyway. So you got to change that mentality. You got to put yourself in the mode of, like, if you were a starter, how would you prepare? So you warm up that way and stay engaged on the bench. Like, you're not slumping. You're in the timeouts. You're listening to what the coach says. You're telling the player in front of you, like, hey, she might cut back door. Remember that. Like, you're staying engaged. So then when your number's called, you're ready. As opposed to you're sitting there like, I ain't playing. You don't know what's going on in the timeouts. You don't know what the coach called. You aren't paying attention to, like, the action that happened on the court. So you aren't engaged. So that would be my advice.
Man, that's so good. It reminds me of something that my mentor told me, which is you want to prepare for the job that you want, not the job that you have.
Yes.
And so it's always like thinking one step ahead. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for the words of wisdom and, the trip down memory lane. Best of luck. Like, you guys got some big games ahead of you.
Yeah, we're starting the playoffs. It's a new season, and I hope we can go on a playoff run. So I'm all about that. We got the GOAT. So
you do? It's true. It's true.
I mean, she's 38 right now, but I hope, age ain't nothing but a number.
Look, once the playoffs start.
Yeah, playoff time. So, but I was going to ask you, Coach K, so is Fat coming back and playing or what? Patricia Hartman, what's going on?
Yeah, I think so. Okay,
so. That's my girl, Fat, yo. Right. So shout out to Fat. But anyways, Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Best of luck.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Take care.
All right.
With the 19th pick in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Georgia Energy select Brajani Moore from Talladega College. Brajani is a 5'10" guard from Stockton, California. She played NAIA ball for the Talladega College Tornadoes, where she averaged 16 points, 5 boards, and 2.8 steals per game. She was ranked 46th nationally by ESPN in 2016 and was an NAIA D1 All-American in 2020. She has top-notch footwork and seems to always be a step ahead of the defender. She's really hard to guard because she can take you off the dribble, or if you leave her open, she's a knockdown three-point threat. This season, she'll be playing for the Georgia Energy, so congratulations to Brajani and the Energy organization. Next, the Crescent City Bombers have the 20th pick of the second round. With the 20th pick of the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Crescent City Bombers select Nicoya Jackson from Florida Gulf Coast University. Nicoya is a 5'6" point guard from Houston, Texas. She attended Southwestern Christian College before transferring to Florida Gulf Coast University. While at Florida Gulf Coast, her team was Sun Tournament champions in 2012, and she made the All-A Sun third team that year. Nicoya is a player who simply just makes the smart play. She's not flashy, not frivolous with the basketball, but has a knack for always being in the right place at the right time. This is evidenced by the fact that in her last year of college, she put up 10 points, 2 assists, and grabbed 3 rebounds as a 5'6" point guard. She's headed to the Crescent City, where the Bombers will be happy to have her. Congrats, Nicoya. With the 21st pick, the Brooklyn MAMBA compete their draft selections next.
With the 21st pick in the second round of the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Brooklyn MAMBA select Jalen Tweedy from Georgian Court University.
Jalen is a 5'6" guard who plays with a high level of aggression. She's a dog on the court. She attended Georgian Court University before heading to play Division B ball in Ireland. She averaged 16 points there with 3.8 assists per game. She was an Irish B-League finalist in 19 and a Eurobasket Summer League finalist this year. As fast as she moves on the court, you can tell that her brain is moving even quicker. She loves to play off the ball with a lot of, backdoor cuts. She uses the on-ball defender to her advantage, actually, and frequently throws like the quick inside-outside passing rotations to get the ball back. We will be watching Jalen this year in Brooklyn. Congratulations to the Brooklyn MAMBA. And Jalen, let's head back down south as the Atlanta Savage make their final pick of the draft.
With the 22nd pick of the second round in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Atlanta Lady Savage select Jada Hargrove from Alcorn State University.
Jada is a 5'5" point guard from Conyers, Georgia. She played basketball and volleyball in high school at Riverdale and Drew High. After high school, she headed over to Alcorn State and played 4 years there as a Lady Brave. Now, Jada's hesitations, change of directions, crossovers, and head fakes can honestly make you dizzy. Once she puts her head down, there is really nothing you can do to prevent her from getting to the cup. This year, she played for Team Italy, and in the first 3 games, she put up some promising numbers. We keep talking about that versatility index, and Jada is another player who can really fill up multiple categories on the box score. Congratulations, Jada and the Atlanta Savage. With the last and final pick of the draft, the Georgia Energy make their selection at 23.
With the 23rd and final pick of the second round in the 2020 WUBA Draft, the Atlanta Lady Savage select Diamond Jolly from Talladega College.
Thank you so much for tuning into the 2020 WUBA Draft. I'm your host, Coach K of 1891. It was an absolute pleasure spending a couple hours with you, learning about these wonderful young ladies, these women who are about to ball out on the court this upcoming WUBA season. Before you go, want to make sure you know a couple things. Absolutely take time to follow the WUBA. You can check them out on Instagram at United Cup 1 or WUBA Live. You can also check them out on the YouTube channel UBA Now and WUBA Live, and on Facebook at WUBA Live. Feel free to follow us at the 1891 Club or myself personally at Life Coach K11. We have a podcast, Anything is Possible. We tell the stories of hoop dreamers across the world, whether you're a coach, agent, trainer, baller, league owner, doesn't matter. Your story impacts and empowers others to do the same and to achieve their dreams. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Saturday afternoon. You literally could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that. Till next time, dream big, but work harder. Ball out.